guys, welcome to today's very different video. I have Jared here with me and I thought we would do things a little bit different. Obviously he's here, so that's different.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was watching and listening to the Walk in Love podcast, and it kind of inspired me to finally do this. We've talked about this for a long time.
Yeah, it's come up several times in the last few years.
Yeah, of doing some kind of podcast together or a YouTube channel together, and I think we kind of get hung up on this idea that we have to get everything right or get something set up, have some brilliant
more figured
idea.
out.
Yeah, and we're just going with no plan. And we're going to throw it up here on this YouTube channel. It's going to be kind of like a podcast, but it's just going to be here on YouTube, at least for today. We're going to see how this goes. We're going to go through a few different things. We're going to kind of get to know Jared, because I feel like people here mostly know me. I mean, they can get to know me doing these things as well, but I'm going to do some things to help them get to know you. Maybe I'll learn some things about you.
Maybe.
And then talk a little bit about a fostering update. If you don't ever see the community tab, then you'll have missed some big news, and we can kind of do a little bit of an update there and then see where this goes. We don't have a whole lot of a plan.
No.
Okay, well.
Just dive right into it.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Well, okay. Getting to know you. So my first thought was, this was inspired by a joke from our pastorate last week. I kind of wanted you to fill out the Disney princess survey.
Oh.
And figure out which Disney princess you are.
What would be your guess?
I don't even know all the Disney princesses.
I don't know if I want you to say, actually.
I filled out the survey because I was curious.
For
myself.
me?
For myself.
Okay.
Do you want to fill it out?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Okay, so something to get to know you. What song have you listened to the most this week? Because you're into music. I haven't listened to a single song in this last week.
Yeah, that's sad.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look at my YouTube music stats and see. There's probably 5-ish songs.
Okay, tell us the 5 songs. Are they all Citizen songs?
Most of them are. So lately it would have been 1,000 Shores by Citizens, and well, basically the whole album, I guess. 1,000 Shores a little bit more probably has come up because we've done that one in church a few times, or are going to do it again this week, so I was listening to it a little more. And
are you leading worship tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Surprise.
Yeah.
And then some King's Kaleidoscope songs, which are older, but I've been really enjoying them lately. Defender is a good one by them.
By King's Kaleidoscope?
King's Kaleidoscope, yes.
Are they still a band?
I have no idea.
So this is an old one?
I think they are. These are from a few years ago. And then, what is it called? Felix de Culpa, I think, which is means fortunate fall.
Okay.
Which is, yeah, it's a good song. And Sticks and Stones is another one by them that I've listened to quite a bit lately. That's been really good. But basically those two, Citizens and King's Kaleidoscope, I've listened to a lot in the last few months.
Okay. Well, that's more options than I could have given you. Because, yeah, I don't listen to music. And apparently that's sad.
It is. I enjoy listening to music.
Good. I don't really, so.
And that's sad.
I have 2, easy questions to get to know you. The first one is your favorite place you've ever been. Easy-ish questions. Because I don't know what I would say. But
How specific?
I don't know, however specific you want to get.
It's not an easy question.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't been that many places, but yeah, well, probably South Africa. Both for the reason we were there and the general experience. We were able to be there for 5 weeks plus.
Yeah.
And just kind of chill in one place and not be running from one place to the next after the first while.
True. So we adopted Ephraim, and that was done within the first 3 days, I think, that we landed in the country. We got there Friday, and Monday we passed court, and
By
then
4 days we were back to where we were staying, and then we were there for
Then
the
we-
next 5 weeks.
5 weeks to do nothing.
Yeah.
No expectations. Yeah, we don't really ever go on vacation and we have that much time
Yeah.
and nothing planned.
And there was like zero stress because anytime we wanted to go somewhere, we just called the person that drove us around places, and they brought us, so we didn't have to drive after that.
Yes, you did have to drive that first.
Yeah. I drove
First-
jet lagged on the wrong side of the road.
Well, it was the right side of the road.
Well,
on the left
for
side.
me it was the wrong side of the road after 30 hours
Yeah.
of travel. So that, I mean, I don't remember it being super stressful then. I was probably too tired to be stressed.
And excited.
And excited, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was, it was because we were adopting Ephraim, and that's like obviously a massive part of our lives.
Yeah.
But then also it was just a really cool place to be. Yeah. Like the weather was awesome when we were there. We walked all over the place, like to get groceries and back, which was kind of like a little bit sketchy.
Apparently it was more sketchy than I realized.
But we didn't know that at the time, so it was fine.
Yeah.
And then some of the things that we did, like going to the beach there and going to, like, we did a little safari thing.
Yeah.
It was...
And we didn't... I didn't really research the country much beforehand because I was
No.
more researching like adoption stuff, so I didn't
Yeah.
go into South Africa knowing these places that we should go, these things that I didn't really have expectations from the country.
Yeah.
So
I know some other people that were there at the same time were like going all over the place and
Yeah.
doing all the activities, and like I feel like maybe we missed out on a little bit, but I also feel like we did. It was so good to just be at the place we were staying and just hanging out there, and then when you're hanging out there and there's like monkeys running around and stuff,
Yeah.
which is,
And they're almost peeing on you.
That's pretty well, yeah. That's not the highlight, but
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah, it was really cool.
And we plan on eventually going back to South Africa somewhere along the road. I don't know. The years
Yeah.
are ticking by. So then we didn't feel like we had to do everything in South Africa
Yeah.
at this time.
I'd rather do those things when Ephraim's old enough to actually like remember them
Yeah.
and experience them.
We should just go somewhere else again for like that chunk of time with no expectations.
That was really good to just feel like you were actually at home when you're not at home, because that's I think something that I have a hard time with when you go on vacation. It's just you're always running around to places, and then you get back to a hotel and it just doesn't feel like you can ever actually relax.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we like to be at home, or I like to be at home.
Yeah.
So
And it could feel like we were at home there.
yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that was a good answer. I'd agree with that. That was fun. Okay.
You're surprised that I have a good answer.
No, you're smarter than me. Okay, random question. I don't know if you've ever thought of this. What are your 4 favorite animals?
A liger, obviously.
Okay, real.
Oh.
Non-fantasy.
You don't like Napoleon Dynamite.
No, I
so
don't. Maybe we should watch it again. Maybe I'll like it more.
I'd probably like it less. That is a very random question.
Yeah. Well, I think you can know a lot about a person by the kind of animal they like.
But you know me enough to know that I'm too like analytical to, like I'm gonna think too hard about
Yes.
a question about what are my favorite
that
animals.
is true. Yes. Well, you're not going to say snakes.
No, I would not say snakes or any type of insect or any type of reptile really.
Rodents? Any kind of rodent?
No.
So, mostly mammals?
Mostly mammals. We narrowed it down to mammals. So pick any 4 mammals.
Cat.
Minus the ones I don't like.
Kitten.
If kitten's separate from cat, then yeah, probably kitten would be up there. 'Cause
Baby
they're
cat.
Pretty cute. Baby cat. Little cat.
Little cat.
Okay,
we got one.
Got one. We were looking up foxes, so that,
Oh, yeah.
fox is pretty up there as far
Yeah,
as
red
like,
fox.
Yeah.
That's 2. You're 50% of the way there.
Yeah. It's passing grade. Should we just stop there?
You can. If a pass is good enough for you, if you don't have to get 100.
I mean, I can just name 2 more animals.
Well, you don't have to overanalyze it.
I do.
Why did
I do.
Why did I say that? Yes, you do. It's just 2 animals that you enjoy that you can think of right now.
You say that like it's an easy thing.
Well,
What are your 4 favorite animals? Go.
Okay, meerkat, kitten, fox, red fox, and...
You stole those 2 of them from
Well,
me.
no, those were already on my list. I
Sure.
did a whole report
Sure.
in grade 9 about red fox. I think it was supposed to be like 9 pages. Mine ended up being 32 because it was mostly pictures of red foxes. And cheetah.
So just cats and then a small dog.
Yeah. I have a theme.
Yeah.
I have limited interests.
Yeah. I mean, cats are pretty cool.
A meerkat isn't really a cat, isn't it? Closer to like a rodent?
Yeah. So you do like rodents.
Well, I don't know what they are. I don't know what their actual typing is, but...
No idea.
So...
Cool.
Yeah, okay, we're done? Okay. Okay. Then I think we're on to giving like a fostering update. No, you haven't really been here for my fostering updates, like here, but
I'm generally here.
You're here for the fostering life. So those of you that didn't see on the community tab, I think it was like last week, a little over a week ago now, I wrote a blog post sharing some information. I didn't have time at the time to do a video. We accepted another placement a week and a half ago now, pretty much. And we said we would be available for a 5 to 8 year old girl, and we got a 3-year-old boy. So, you know, that's how fostering works. We don't have an online name for him yet, so he's just gonna be the new boy right now. We need to think of some kind of cartoon character.
Yeah, we went with Star Wars for some reason for
because R2, he made this squeal that sounded like R2, and then we got a sister, and she was a little roly-poly, so
shaped like BB-8.
She ended up being BB-8.
Yeah.
And so we don't have a name for him yet, this new guy. How's that going?
Personality is starting to come out, so then maybe that'll help.
It will.
Figure out
a
name, yeah.
Yes.
How's it going? It's pretty well, I think. Like, obviously it's an adjustment still, but he's doing really well with playing with the other boys, and so that's been good.
So he is just 1 month younger than R2. So they're like the same size, very much interested in the same things.
Yeah.
Get along really well until they both want the same toy. They're pretty much twins.
Yeah, that hasn't happened that frequently.
That they've argued?
Yeah.
No, it's usually just like, I want that red car.
Yeah.
And then it's an issue, but yeah, it hasn't happened a ton. Also, because R2 and BB-8 are doing a lot of visits right now. They're not here a good third of the time right now. Not quite. Approximately.
The last week or so, yeah.
So, now we have 3. I don't know. Sometimes, why did we accept another one? Like, we were kind of like, well, if we're already fostering, what's one more? There is a severe need in our province for foster kids. We still only have half of the 7.5 children per home needed in order to have homes for all the kids.
Yeah, and with the age, it was kind of like, well, we already have a 3-year-old boy, so I mean, we're already in that stage.
Yeah.
And like there was always the risk of them really clashing, but thankfully that hasn't happened. So.
And if it would have, we would have had to made that decision to get the new kid moved somewhere else, because right now our biggest priority in fostering is to R2 and BB-8, especially since they're potentially moving on in the next while.
Yeah, and they've been with us for a long time, so...
Yeah, they're very much part of the family.
Yeah. Yeah, and because they have a lot of change going on right now with all the visits and, you know, potential returns down the road, then they need more emotional support than they would have typically needed.
Yeah. Yeah, so as of right now, I thought that R2 and BB-8 would be gone like a month ago already, or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, right around now.
End of July. They're still here. They'll be here at least another month, a little over a month. But then potentially by the end of September, beginning of October, maybe all 3 are gone. And then we'll have to figure out where we're going from there. Just curious, what do you think has been the biggest thing that fostering has taught you? Oh yes, you're an overanalyzer. I gotta give you.
No, I have a pretty fast answer for this actually.
Okay.
It's that I am selfish.
Okay. Well,
you know, like that I still struggle with some of the things, because it's been a while since we had young kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you know, Reika and Ephraim are younger and they take up more time and more energy, I felt like, oh, I'm like, you realize how selfish you are because sometimes you want to do your own thing. And
well, as introverts, we always want to do our own thing.
well, yeah, but, and like there's a lot of pouring out that happens. And then as they got older, it became easier. Because we would like do stuff with them, but it was more like, I don't know, just more enjoyable, less playing with cars and dolls and
pretending to be injured at the doctor.
Yeah. And more doing, like, just enjoying doing things together.
Yeah.
So then as they got older, it's like, oh, maybe I'm, like, maturing and getting better at this.
I've got this.
And then you get, like, well...
Then we went back down to 3 and 1.5.
Year, yeah. Well, originally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess originally. So, it's like, no, I'd still struggle with a lot of those issues, but it is, I think, pushed me to hopefully be a little bit less selfish, but realizing that it's still something I need to work on for sure. That's something major that it's taught me, I think.
Yeah, that was a fast answer. Not even a whole lot of analyzing on camera. Maybe analyzing. Analyzing.
You're implying that you cut out a big chunk of it.
No, I mean analyzing. Obviously, you've thought of this before.
Yeah.
I think for me, the biggest thing it's taught me is how much we don't have control over our lives. Like, I want to be in control. I want to have a plan. I want to stick to it. I want to tell God this is where we're going with life.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't even know what's happening for visits next week. All 3 of them are supposed to have visits next week. Don't even know what days or what times or anything.
Yeah.
And
like, you know, you were saying in a couple months, maybe we don't have any of the kids that we have now, but also they might be here for 5 more years. Like, we have no idea.
No.
Like, because that's happened before where we thought, oh, this is getting really close to a return, and then that doesn't happen for several months later.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's happened both ways, where we think, oh yeah, they're like a long way from a return.
Yeah.
And we got to call and they're gone in an hour.
Yeah.
Like.
So, but yeah, we don't know, and we like to think that we have control over other things, but it's a good reminder that we don't really have control.
Yeah. I think without fostering in my life, I could pretend that I had control, and this removes any pretending and makes me much more flexible and reliable, or relying on God, trusting that He has a plan.
Yeah.
And that I don't have to plan it or can't plan it.
Yeah. And just being okay with things changing, right? Like, because I think we can make a plan, but you make a plan knowing that ultimately we don't have control over whether that plan will actually happen or not.
Yeah.
So it's not like you just be like, well, I have no control, so whatever, who cares? But you still like try to plan ahead, but always knowing that ultimately it's not up to us what happens.
Yeah. Well, even like we tried to plan, we were going to do a trip out of province end of July, and then that didn't happen. So then we were going to do it middle of August or whatever there, end of August, and now that probably won't happen. So just keep trying to plan, but things keep changing. So
yeah, trying to learn to be flexible with things.
Yeah. So I think that's a overview of a fostering update, where we're at, where we're maybe going.
Where we're at today, tomorrow might be different.
By the time this goes live, everything could have changed.
Yeah.
Oh my word, yes, that is so true. Yeah, because I feel like I think I know things that are coming up next week and the week after, but...
Well, there's things that you don't know that you think are happening next week, but there's also the things that we don't know are gonna, like...
Well, there's things that are supposed to be happening, one thing next week, one thing the week after, but things could change.
But we don't, yeah. Yeah. And then there's also other things that might come up that we don't know about.
Yes.
So, fun.
So good. Yeah, so then in regards to what this is, this podcast that's not a podcast, it's like a podcast, but I didn't want to spend the energy to try to like actually make it a podcast. Maybe we will eventually. I don't know, I feel like there's a lack of, what's the right word? Well, really like Christian couples online in a non-formal setting kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know, you've got your like marriage gurus, and you've got your, I don't know, different people that's their life. But I feel like there's missing a, like, sitting down, talking to a friend, talking to a couple kind of thing. And I think the Walk in Love podcast has that, but I feel like there needs to be more like that. So that's kind of what I want this to be, kind of a bit of a ministry opportunity, especially if we aren't fostering. Like, I feel like I need some other way to connect to people. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, but it'll take me like 10 minutes to get them out.
Every time. Yeah, we should really go into this with more of a plan.
What do you mean? We've thought about this for at least...
Actually, okay, so the reason that we're doing this today, I forgot about this, is because last night I woke up at 3 o'clock and I had thought about this a little bit yesterday. It's kind of like, I just do things, and then I think about them after. That's why I have you to think about things before we do them.
Well, but sometimes we both just do things.
That is true. So I woke up at 3 o'clock, and the thoughts were just like swirling, and I was thinking about all this, and eventually at like 4:30 I finally came and I wrote down a bunch of things I was thinking about, and then at 5 o'clock I went back to bed and could sleep because I had these thoughts out. And in the last podcast that I had listened to, the Walk in Love one that I sent to you, they were talking about like nudges from the Holy Spirit and how they hear things differently. And I feel like if I'm being woken up in the night and I can't fall asleep because these ideas are just swirling, that's a pretty good indicator that...
Maybe that's a nudge.
Or like a push out of the bed.
Yeah.
A little more than a nudge, but...
Especially when you haven't like actually had a good night's sleep.
I know, I was so excited to go to bed last night. There was no children woke me up. Yeah, so... And then I feel like it's something to do. And
yeah.
So... For those of you that are watching, if you've stuck around this far, thank you very much. Let us know some things maybe you would like to see. I want it to be casual and have some light stuff, but also go deep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think right now we don't really know what it will end up looking like. Yeah. And I think instead of waiting until we have an idea of what we want it to look like, we're just like, hey, let's just put it out there and see what it turns into.
Yeah.
So
there was no... Other than the big kids are watching a little kid right now, there was nothing we had to do, have all the setup, just putting this on my YouTube channel. There's no extra effort needed, and we can figure out what works.
Yep.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Let us know if there's something you would like to see, and we'll go from there. Maybe we will see you next week. Maybe this is a one-time thing.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? We don't.
But thanks for being here.